Merry freaking Christmas, guys. It is P. Lusky here with the second video of the channel. And today we're going to be talking about 4 things people get completely wrong about investing. Now, here are the 4 things that they can get wrong about it. People think you have to constantly monitor your stocks. People think you have to chase the new hot stock. People also think you have to put a bunch of money in at one time, like you have to have a bunch of money set aside and then you can invest. And also some people think that investing is a get-rich-quick scheme with day trading and options trading. So we're going to break each one of these down and we're going to go into detail on why these are misconceptions. And in reality, none of that is true. Or it doesn't have to be true. To invest properly and wisely, you don't have to constantly monitor your stocks. You can if you want to, but just buy and forget about them. I know that's what I do personally because I don't want to constantly check my portfolio and stress over every dollar that goes up and goes down. You know, this can lead to individuals like caring way too much about what their portfolio is doing, and like they can start to panic once it turns red, or they start to get too eager and want to buy more stocks or whatever when it gets too green, instead of just regularly investing in intervals, like every time you get paid or every time you have some money set aside. The best investors make money from people who like to panic and constantly monitor their stocks and sell when they see something isn't going their way. That's when people make money. The higher up people make money is whenever the stock market crashes, they start to buy because that's when everything's cheap. I like to think of it as like Black Friday. You know, it's a bloodbath and it hurts to see my portfolio get, this low, but at the end of the day, stocks are way cheaper whenever the stock market crashes, and that's how people make thousands of millions of dollars. Number 2, chasing a hot new stock, which that is a recipe for disaster. And this can be, a tribute to FOMO, or fear of missing out. You see a stock which has already started to explode, such as when GameStop and AMC were blowing up back in, I think, 2021, or it might have been 2020. I think it was 2020, fall of 2020, around there. It started to blow up, and, people started to get invested in it, and they, were making a lot of money. Some people were actually making a bunch of money, but then, some people invested way too late in popular stocks, and then they crash, and then that's how you see people complaining about losing all their money, because that's what happens when you get into a stock way too late after you've already heard about it. Typically, if you hear about a hot stock on the news or online, it's usually too late, unless it's like a good performing stock for the long run, like, Nvidia, Apple, Amazon, those type of stocks, which I personally like to invest in. Usually, if you hear about it, it's too late. So always think about that. If you hear about it, it's too late. And to invest properly, number 3, you do not need to have a bunch of money set aside to invest. You don't need to do that. You can slowly increment, $10, $20, $50 a week or month. It doesn't matter. Just start. That's all you have to do, is just start. You can even put $100 in, mess around with some stuff, and then start to build some confidence. You don't need to have a bunch of money set aside to get into it. Based on what money you have in your current portfolio, plus the money you put in every month, that's when compound interest really starts to shine 10, 20, 30 years down the road. Investing is a long game. It's not something you're going to get into to, make a bunch of money tomorrow or next week or next month. You might be able to, but that's not the goal of investing. The goal of investing is to have your money work for you. It's to have your money, doing something instead of just sitting in a brick and mortar savings account doing absolutely nothing for you. Investing is a tool to be used to generate money in the long term, not the short term. Our goal is to invest in something that will generate a steady rate of return, which historically, if you look at the S&P 500 over the last 40 years, it's generated a solid return of 8 to 10% a year, which is personally what I invest in, around 70% of my money that I contribute monthly. So, just food for thought. And I'll probably make a video detailing that a little bit more. But our last reason people get investing all wrong is some people think investing is a way to get rich quick. And they try it and they fail and they say, I'm never doing that again. Some people like to trade investing as gambling. That's not what it is. We don't day trade. We don't options trade. Options trading is mostly for people, or even day trading too, for people that have insider knowledge and are able to predict quote unquote predict what these stocks are doing. That's why you see people in Congress have way higher portfolios than the average person due to the fact that they have insider knowledge that the public can't access. But if you want to mimic someone's stocks, I would say mimic freaking people in Congress like Nancy Pelosi. She's killing it. She's always freaking killing it. So I would do that. But these are methods of gambling. Day trading is gambling. Options trading is gambling because you don't know what's going to happen. Now, you could say the same thing about investing in the S&P 500. I like to look at, stats. I like to look at historical rate of returns. That's what I like to base what I invest in. I don't like to invest my hard-earned money in stuff that I'm not sure about, because once my money gets up to around 100, 200, 500K plus, I'm not going to want to be making risky bets. That's just not me. That's not my risk appetite personally. So that's kind of the 4 misconceptions with investing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. You got some insight from it. Maybe gained some knowledge. You might have already known this and you just want to watch me play a game and yap. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. But investing isn't complicated, and it shouldn't be for the majority of people. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to subscribe, like, and comment. I stream also multiple times a week. We'll go over on Twitch and TikTok. I might start streaming on YouTube as well, but maybe YouTube exclusively. We'll see. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. P. Lusky out. Peace.